I think we've reached the point where it's silly to keep shooting these videos in the gadget lab on this little student desk. I believe we're maxing out the weight limit of this IKEA. Well, hello there. We're going to be chatting about big batteries for your home and travel and emergency needs. This is a product segment I've been really into lately. I think this is fun. And this is the biggest battery I've yet had the pleasure of test driving. The folks at Anker are sponsoring this video, and they sent over the new 767 Powerhouse battery for me to take on a test drive. I was not prepared for how big this thing really is. Immediately, we have to call out the Anker website. When I looked the battery up, there was this cute little animation of it kind of rolling out on the screen and then onto what looks like a kitchen counter. And it looks really little and cute. I think the battery is kind of cute, but it's certainly not little. It's the wheels. The wheels make it look kind of cute. It kind of looks like a little droid breaking down the specs on this box. All the numbers are gonna be big. We have a 2048 watt hour capacity capable of 2400 watt output. The collection of those outputs: 4 full-sized AC ports, 2 car sockets, 3 USB-C, 2 USB-A, and I have no idea what this is. It's called a TT30R, and I know it's for RVs. I have no idea how or what or where you would use that, and I just think it's kind of rad. I don't have an RV, but I really want to see how someone would use that. The flip side, back of the box, there are 3 inputs. There's 1 solar input, 1 AC input, and Anker has a special expansion port because you can buy another battery pack and plug it in here, doubling the capacity of this whole rig. Using the inputs over AC, the 767 can charge from 0 to 80% in under 90 minutes. Now, I mentioned there's only 1 solar input, but Anker includes a 1 to 5 dongle. You can stack up to 5 solar panels for a total of 1000 watt input on solar. I only have the one cheap floppy panel that I tried out for these videos, so I can just plug that directly into the box. This battery charges a lot slower over that one inexpensive floppy solar panel that I own. The general design should look familiar to the other crate batteries we've been playing with recently. We basically have sort of a medium to large sized cooler's worth of electric car grade battery cells in a ruggedized frame. This is a beefy capacity. That means more weight for more of those cells internally, and the design on the grips is fine, but you're really better off rolling it when you can. They showed this graphic of where the handle is placed for better ergonomic control of the battery, and it does feel kind of funky the first time you slide it out, but I think it makes tilting the 767 a little bit easier. A bit. Great airflow to keep the batteries running a little cooler with active fans that spin up. They make some noise. They're definitely louder than laptop fans as an example, but we're well below the noise of operation on anything gas powered. And from previous generations of these big crate batteries, I'm really happier to see more consumer friendly displays. Not just showing capacity, but much clearer readouts for power draw, connectors, and use, and any potential faults with the battery. And my favorite trick makes a return here, where you can use the 767 while it's charging and as an uninterruptible power supply. Anker claims your crossover time is less than 20 milliseconds, but I do want to highlight one difference here between a portable battery and a dedicated office-style UPS. These batteries can switch over from AC power to internal battery storage really fast, but they do have a cutoff circuit, and they won't supply power exactly like a UPS. When you fully drain a UPS battery and then restore power, the UPS should restore power to connected devices on its own. The user doesn't usually need to manage that. The Anker batteries shut off AC power when fully depleted. We should expect that, but the user has to push the AC button again when the battery starts charging. I wouldn't use these batteries interchangeably as UPSs because there is that one user interaction needed to restart power, but they've been handy in situations where we've had some power outages and unpredictable or inconsistent power. It's still an incredibly useful feature. It's just a little bit more managed than some of these other more office supply solutions. And the big tech upgrade for this box comes by way of charging efficiency. Anker leaning on their GaN Prime charging, which claims a significant reduction in energy loss and should run your batteries cooler while they're charging. If you're seeing all these new gallium nitride chargers being sold for super fast charging phones and tablets and laptops, it's really exciting to see some of that tech make its way to a big chunk of a house battery too. Lastly, just running down all the features here, there is a cute little app for your phone, connects over Bluetooth, where you can see the stats on the battery, charge and discharge. You can toggle the emergency light, change the display timeout, and install firmware updates in the future. It's nice having a bit more control, but it is a Bluetooth connection, so you can't use that app if you're farther away from the battery. There's just a ton this box is capable of, but while I've been having conversations about these products with folks around me, the trickiest thing to tackle is educating people on power draw. It's one of the things that's the most nerdy fun about getting a big battery, is having it spell out to you how much juice is being used by different gadgets and appliances in your home. Like the 757 video I did, and how I was running a coffee maker from this battery. Boiling water quickly to brew coffee is an energy intense activity, and this big crate of battery cells would only be capable of running my coffee maker for about an hour. Of course, we don't run coffee makers for hours on end. They're used in short bursts of activity. So trying to break down the math on my refrigerator, Marie and I really should look into buying a more energy efficient fridge. Our fridge is kind of crap. It doesn't sound that impressive that the 767 would be able to power our fridge for 8 hours straight. But then you think about how our fridge really runs, and it's kind of rad that our fridge compressor only runs for 5 minutes per cycle, which means in just normal operation, the 767 would power our fridge for around 23 hours of total operation. And if you have a nicer fridge than we do, chances are pretty good, the 767 should last even longer. I like digging into those electrical specs, but you don't have to do the math in your head, because the display in the readout is pretty reliable at showing you power draw in operation. One from the future here popping in real quick, because we had a power outage. That's not something you would normally get excited about, but it was an opportunity to really test the 767. We got a notice from our electric company that we're going to do a scheduled blackout just because of some high wind advisories, and it was going to be so long that we really couldn't just let the fridge sit totally idle. So we pulled the fridge out of the little alcove in our kitchen and plugged it into the 767, and it did better than my estimates in the previous section that you just watched. We plugged the fridge in at around 9:30 p.m. and then unplugged it at 7:30 a.m. the next morning. The entire battery capacity only dropped by about 37%. Crunching some of the numbers on that 10 hours of usage, that means we should really be able to keep our full-sized fridge, our not very energy efficient full-size fridge, running for maybe more like 27 hours total operation. My math was pretty close, but the 767 did even better than my estimate, and now we'll go back to the rest of the video. It gives you a whole different appreciation for how power efficient our gadgets really are. With managed use and maybe tapping into a low power mode, it's not difficult getting 2 days out of a cell phone. And it might only take you about 30 minutes to charge a phone if it supports something like 60-watt charging. It's reassuring to think how a big box like this could keep a family of cell phones and a laptop running in an emergency situation. And the other side, there's a lot of fun to be found in big crate of electricity, where you can easily take this out on the road and power some high-level gadgets out on location. Tailgating, car camping. And for my family personally, it's just been a huge peace of mind having the 757 through some power outages and maintenance issues. The 767 takes everything that I liked about the 757, doubles the capacity, and throws some wheels on it. And it's why I want to continue these kinds of conversations on my YouTube channel. I was just recently visiting with some family who happen to live in Texas, and there were some concerns about potential incoming winter storms and the prices on electricity during those kinds of emergencies. These types of batteries are increasingly more accessible, more affordable, and also I just think they're easier to use. I've done this comparison before in other videos, so please pardon the repeat here. The 767 is going to be a lot more expensive up front than a gas generator, but it's much quieter. It can be used indoors, doesn't generate any exhaust, requires almost no maintenance other than checking its charge every 2 to 3 months. You don't ever need to give it an oil change. And if you can pair it with some solar panels, you can last a while on an extended blackout without having to source fuel. It's a different kind of cost trying to compare different methods of generating and storing power. Bigger chunk of change up front, but in my opinion, this is easier to use over time. You can't really use a little gas generator as a backup for a CPAP machine. So I need to throw a huge thank you to the folks at Anchor for collaborating on another one of these videos, the tech we can use in emergencies, and we can also use it for some fun. I'm still getting up to speed on different solar panels, and I will have some more information to share there soon too. Some better ways that we can recharge these big boxes if we can't rely on the grid. Also, before I forget, in my video on the 757, I got some great suggestions on a little travel fridge. Marie and I will be picking up one of those soon. I think we've got the one that we want all picked out, and I'll cover that in a future video too. This is just such a fun new flavor of lifestyle technology, which also feels more grown up. I can do ridiculous things like power a TV out in the backyard, but I can also be responsible grown-up man taking care of my family, and it feels good. I kind of like doing both of those. So if you would like more information on portable batteries, or maybe you'd be interested in a primer on how to choose the size and power output of a battery to fit your needs, drop me a comment down below and make sure you hit that bell icon on your way down. I've been nerding out on this gear really hard over the last year, and I'm always excited to share some of my more recent tech obsessions. As always, thanks so much for watching, for sharing these videos, subscribing to the channel. All the support lately has been amazing. If you are clicking on links in the description, hitting my home site, somegadgetguy.com, shopping a little merch, or if you're joining the list of names scrolling by on your screen from my Patreon, patreon.com/somegadgetguy. This list is basically the coolest collection of tech pals in the universe, so I hope you'll check them out. Now, you know where you can find me around the rest of the internet, at somegadgetguy on the Twitters and the Twitch, not so much on the Facebooks or the Instagrams, and I will catch you all on the next video.